This is Aging Gracefully with Julie. On this episode, Julie will look at the process of aging in a spiritual and holistic manner, answering the question, what is aging gracefully?
Hello, and a very warm welcome. I'm Julie. I'm a registered nurse and a certified senior advisor. I've been in the medical field now for over 30 years, and I have experience in geriatric care. I'm so glad you've chosen to spend this time with me today. Whether you're listening on a morning walk, during a quiet afternoon, or as you wind down for the evening, I invite you to take a gentle breath. Inhale calm and exhale the busyness of your day. Today, we're going to explore a topic that touches every single one of us, yet one we often approach with a mix of apprehension and uncertainty. We're going to talk about aging, but we're not going to talk about as a decline or an ending. Instead, we're going to explore it as a journey, an art, a practice. We're going to talk about aging gracefully. The writer, Betty Friedan, once said, "Aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength." I love that sentiment. It reframes the entire conversation. For too long, our culture has been obsessed with youth, with an anti-aging narrative that suggests getting older is something to be fought, hidden, and resisted at all costs. But what if that's a losing battle? What if, by fighting it, we miss the profound beauty and wisdom this chapter of life has to offer? Aging gracefully isn't about looking 20 years younger. It's not about erasing the lines on our faces, which are, after all, roadmaps of a life lived. It is about living with intention, with vitality, and with a deep sense of peace, no matter the number of candles on our cake. It's about nurturing our minds, our bodies, and our spirits so that we can continue to grow, to contribute, and to find joy in every season of life. Over the next hour, we'll journey through 3 core pillars of this practice. First, we'll explore the mindset of graceful aging, how shifting our perspective is the most powerful tool we have. Second, we will discuss nurturing the body, focusing on sustainable practices for health and vitality. And finally, we'll delve into the social and emotional self, examining the crucial roles of connection, purpose, and resilience. This isn't a lecture, it's a conversation, a space for reflection. So let's begin. The mindset of graceful aging. Everything, absolutely everything, begins in the mind. Our thoughts shape our reality. If we believe that aging is a catastrophe, then every new gray hair, every forgotten name will feel like a confirmation of that belief. But what if we choose to see it as a natural progression, a new adventure? Then our entire experience changes. The first and most crucial shift is from a mindset of loss to one of opportunity. Yes, we may lose some of the physical prowess of our youth. Our roles may change. We may retire from careers. Our children may be grown. But what do we gain? We gain perspective. We gain wisdom, forged through decades of experience, of triumphs and failures, of joys and sorrows. We gain a freedom from the frantic ambitions and insecurities that often drive our younger years. There is a quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are. A powerful practice to cultivate this mindset is gratitude. It's simple yet profound. Each day, take a moment to identify 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. The warmth of the sun on your skin, a conversation with a friend, the taste of your morning coffee. This practice retrains your brain to scan for the positive. It anchors you in the present and reminds you of the abundance that already exists in your life, rather than focusing on what might be fading. Alongside gratitude comes the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply the act of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. As we age, it's easy to get caught in reminiscing about the past or worrying about the future. Mindfulness brings us back to the here and now. It allows us to fully inhabit our lives as they are today. You can practice this by simply focusing on your breath for a few minutes, or by paying full attention to a routine task like washing the dishes, noticing the temperature of the water and the scent of the soap. This brings us to a significant challenge: ageism. It exists in the world around us, in media, in the workplace, but perhaps the most insidious form is internal ageism, the negative beliefs we hold about our own aging. Do you ever catch yourself saying, "I'm too old for that," or "I'm having a senior moment"? These seemingly harmless phrases reinforce a narrative of decline. Challenge these thoughts. When you think, "I'm too old to learn a new language," reframe it. Say, "Learning a new language will be a wonderful challenge for my brain." Instead of lamenting on a senior moment, perhaps just acknowledge, "I forgot something. It happens to people of all ages." By changing our internal dialogue, we reclaim our power and define our own experience of aging rather than letting a societal script define it for us. It's about embracing who you are now, with all the wisdom and experience you've gathered, and looking forward with curiosity and optimism. Let's take a gentle pause here. We've talked about cultivating a new mindset, about gratitude, and challenging our internal ageism. These are the forward-looking aspects, the seeds we plant for a flourishing future. But to truly prepare the soil, we must also attend to what is already there. Inherent in this shift is a practice that can be both challenging and liberating: the practice of letting go. Think of your life as a long and beautiful journey. Along the way, you've packed a traveler's bag. In your youth, you filled it with dreams, ambitions, and a boundless energy. In adulthood, you added responsibilities, achievements, relationships, and a collection of identities that help you navigate the world. But now, as the terrain changes, as the path becomes less about climbing and more about savoring the view, it's time to take stock of what's in that bag. Some of what you carry may now be incredibly heavy, a burden you've grown so accustomed to. You've forgotten you can set it down. Letting go is the conscious act of unpacking that bag. It is not about forgetting the past or devaluing your experiences. It is about lovingly examining each item and asking, does this still serve me on the journey ahead? Let's begin with one of the heaviest items we carry, our former identities. As we journey through life, we accumulate roles that defined us: the successful executive, the devoted parent, the dependable caregiver, the fearless travel, the community leader. These identities serve us for a time. They give us structure and a sense of purpose. But when life changes through retirement, children leaving home, or shifts in our physical abilities, our tight grip on these old identities can cause immense suffering. If your entire sense of self-worth was tied to your career, retirement can feel like an erasure of yourself. If you were primarily a caregiver, an empty nest can feel like a silent, hollow space. The process of letting go here is understanding that you are not your job title. You are not just a parent. You are not your youthful body. You are the consciousness, the soul, the eternal being that has inhabited all of these roles. The roles were costumes, and you played the parts beautifully. Now you have the opportunity to discover who you are without a costume, or to create a new one that is woven from wisdom and freedom rather than obligation. A powerful exercise in this practice is to conduct a life review, not as a morbid look back, but as an act of compassionate curation. Set aside some quiet time, perhaps over a few days, with a journal or just in quiet. Travel back through the decades of your life. Revisit the child you were, the teenager full of hopes and fears, the young adult stepping into the world. See them not as a lesser version of you, but as a crucial part of your story. Honor the person you were in each stage. Thank them for the lessons they learned and the strength they showed. Acknowledge the dreams that were fulfilled and celebrate them. And just as importantly, acknowledge the dreams that were not. Grieve them if you need to. Release the phantom limb of a life not lived. This process allows you to integrate your past, to see it as a complete, rich tapestry rather than a series of losses. By honoring what was you, can release its hold on you and fully arrive in the present, a whole and integrated being. Now, let's look at another heavy set of items in our bag. Old resentments, grievances, and regrets. Carrying a grudge is like carrying a burning coal, hoping the other person gets burned. It only sears your own hands. These negative energies deplete our vitality and keep us tethered to moments of pain, forcing us to relive them again and again. Forgiveness in this context is not about condoning what happened. It is not about letting the other person off the hook. It is not for them. Forgiveness is an act of profound self-liberation. It is you deciding that you will no longer allow that past event to consume your present energy. It's about cutting the cord that binds you to that negativity. You can do this through journaling, pouring out all of your anger and pain onto the page without censorship. You could even write a letter you never send, detailing the hurt and ending with the statement, I release you. I release this pain. I am setting myself free. Or you can use a simple visualization. Let's try it. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine the person or situation. See the energetic cord connecting you to it. Acknowledge the pain it represents. Then, with a powerful, intentional act of will, imagine a pair of golden scissors in your hand. See yourself cutting that cord. Feel the recoil, the release, the lightness that comes as that negative connection dissolves. This is a practice, not a one-time fix. It may require visiting these feelings many times, each time with a little more compassion for yourself and your healing process. Regret is the other side of the coin, resentment turned inward. We cling to past mistakes, replaying them in our minds. If only I had is a painful refrain. Letting go of regret involves practicing self-compassion. Talk to yourself as you would a dear friend who made the same mistake. You would offer them kindness, understanding, and the perspective that they did the best they could with the knowledge and resources they had at the time. You too deserve that same grace. Acknowledge the lesson learned from the mistake. That is its gift. Then, release the need for self-flagellation. You cannot change the past, but you can change the story you tell yourself about it. Finally, we must practice letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes and our resistance to change. We often have a rigid, unspoken blueprint of how our lives should look, how our health should be, how our relationships should function. When reality inevitably deviates from our blueprint, we create our own suffering. The art of graceful aging involves cultivating immense psychological flexibility. It's about embracing the Japanese concept of wasabi, finding profound beauty in imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. It's accepting that life is not a straight, predictable highway, but a meandering river with unexpected turns, gentle currents, and the occasional rapids. By releasing our white-knuckled grip on how things should be, we open ourselves up to the beauty of how they are. This doesn't mean being passive. It means acting where we can and finding peace where we cannot. It is the shift from a life of frantic striving to one of conscious being. From a need to control to a willingness to accept. It is in this space of surrender that true grace is found. This work of letting go is deep, and it is not always easy. It requires courage and vulnerability, but it is perhaps the most rewarding work we can do as we age. It is the ultimate spring cleaning for the soul, making space for the light, wisdom, joy, and peace that this chapter of life is waiting to offer us. So take a breath. And with your next exhale, ask yourself, what is one thing, just one small thing, I am willing to set down today? Nurturing the body. Our bodies are our lifelong companions. They have carried us through every experience, and they deserve our care, respect, and kindness, especially as the years go by. Nurturing the body isn't about achieving an unrealistic physical ideal. It's about maintaining function, energy, and joy in movement. Let's first talk about movement. A body in motion stays in motion. We all have heard that. The key is to find something you genuinely enjoy. If you hate the gym, don't force yourself to go. Movement should be a celebration of what your body can do, not a punishment. Consider walking in nature, which combines physical activity with the restorative effects of the outdoors. Think about dancing, swimming, gardening, or gentle yoga. These activities improve balance, flexibility, and strength, all crucial for maintaining independence and preventing falls. The goal is consistency over intensity. A daily 30-minute walk is far more beneficial than a punishing weekly workout that leaves you sore and unmotivated. Next, let's consider nutrition. The world of diet advice can be incredibly confusing, so let's simplify it. Think not of dieting, but of nourishing. Focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Fill your plate with a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. The Mediterranean way of eating is often cited as a gold standard for longevity, and for a good reason. It's rich in fish, nuts, olive oil, and fresh produce. But the most important principle is mindful eating. Pay attention to your food. Savor the flavors and textures. Listen to your body's hunger and fullness cues, and don't forget hydration. Water is essential for every single bodily function, from lubricating our joints to keeping our minds sharp. And of course, there is sleep. Sleep is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity. It is during sleep that our bodies and brains repair and restore themselves. As we age, sleep patterns can change, but our need for quality rest does not. Creating a restful sleep environment is key. Keep your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Establish a relaxing bedtime routine, perhaps reading a book, taking a warm bath, or listening to calming music. Try to avoid screens for at least an hour before bed, as the blue light can interfere with the production of melatonin, which is our natural sleep hormone. Finally, nurturing the body means being a proactive partner in your own health care. Stay up to date with preventive screenings. Don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. Write them down before your appointment so you don't forget. You know your body better than anyone. If something feels off, speak up. A good healthcare relationship is a partnership built on open communication and mutual respect. Taking care of your physical self is a profound act of self-love that pays dividends in energy, mobility, and overall well-being. Now let's talk about the social and emotional self. We are social creatures. We're not meant to navigate life alone. As we journey through our later years, nurturing our social and emotional being is just as vital as caring for our physical health. It's the heart of a joyful and meaningful life. The cornerstone of this connection is cultivating deep, meaningful relationships with friends, family, and community. Research has shown that social connection is a powerful predictor of health and longevity, even more so than quitting smoking or exercising. As life changes through retirement, relocation, or the loss of loved ones, it is important to be intentional about maintaining and building our social networks. This could mean scheduling regular calls with loved ones, joining a book club, taking a class, or volunteering for a cause you care about. It's about quality, not quantity. A few close, trusted confidants with whom you can share your joys and vulnerabilities are worth more than 100 acquaintances. Don't be afraid to be the one who reaches out. A simple text or call can bridge a gap and strengthen a bond. Equally important for emotional health is the pursuit of lifelong learning. The brain, like a muscle, thrives on being used. Curiosity is the elixir of life. When we learn new things, we create new neural pathways, keeping our minds flexible and sharp. This doesn't have to mean enrolling in a formal degree program. It can be as simple as learning to cook a new cuisine, tackling a new puzzle, learning a few phrases in a new language, or watching documentaries on subjects that fascinate you. Staying curious keeps us engaged with the world and opens us up to new possibilities and perspective. This leads us to the concept of purpose. For many, our sense of purpose is tied to our careers or our roles as parents. When these roles shift, it can leave a void. But purpose is not a single destination. It is a continuous journey. Now is the time to ask yourself, what makes me come alive? What gifts and wisdom can I share with the world? Your purpose might be found in mentoring a younger person, volunteering at a local shelter, creating art, tending a garden, or being the emotional anchor for your family. It's about feeling that you matter and that your contribution, no matter how small it may seem, does make a difference. Finally, we must acknowledge that this stage of life can bring emotional challenges, particularly grief and loss. Aging gracefully does not mean we are immune to sadness. It means we build the resilience to navigate it. Resilience is the ability to bend without breaking. It's nurtured by allowing ourselves to feel our emotions fully, by seeking support from our social networks, and by finding meaning even in difficult times. It is the quiet strength that says, "This is hard, but I will get through it." As we draw our time together to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on our journey. We've explored the 3 essential pillars of aging with grace. 1, cultivating a positive and accepting mindset, lovingly nurturing our body and enriching our social and emotional self. These are not separate, isolated tasks. They're interwoven, each one supporting and strengthening the others. A positive mindset motivates us to move our bodies. A healthy body gives us the energy to connect with others. And strong social connections lift our spirits and give us a reason to care for ourselves. Think of your life as a magnificent tapestry. The threads of your youth were bright, vibrant, and perhaps woven with speed and ambition. Now the threads may be different. They may be silver, gold, and indigo, richer, deeper hues, imbued with the texture of experience. Every thread, from the brightest joy to the darkest sorrow, is essential to the beauty of the final masterpiece. To age gracefully is to continue weaving with intention, with love, and with an appreciation for the whole picture. This can all feel like a lot to take in at once, so I want to leave you with a simple, gentle call to action. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Choose one small thing from our conversation today that resonated with you. Just one. Perhaps this week you'll start a gratitude journal. Or maybe you'll schedule a walk with a friend you haven't seen in a while. Perhaps you'll visit the library and pick up a book on a topic you know nothing about. Or maybe you'll simply take 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Small, consistent actions are the seeds from which profound change grows. Remember, this is your journey to be walked at your own pace. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. You have navigated decades of this complex, beautiful, and challenging thing called life. You have so much wisdom within you. Trust it. The art of aging gracefully is, in the end, the art of living fully right up to the very end. Thank you for sharing this hour with me. And in our next episode of Aging Gracefully with Julie, we will talk about the sandwich generation. So for now, I wish you peace, joy, and vitality on the path ahead. Goodbye now.
On the next episode of Aging Gracefully with Julie, she will be defining the sandwich generation and stressors and rewards of caring for yourself, your family, and your elderly loved ones. She will be focusing on how to navigate caregiving with grace.